was on yesterday. Unless it's the future, in which case it was on a couple of days ago, or a couple of weeks ago, or maybe a couple of years ago. I don't know when you're watching this thing, or if you're watching it at all while I sing. If you can call this singing, I suppose you can. But I saw The Who yesterday, did you? Did you rang? Nobody here anyway, so I can just sing until somebody comes here. I can just sing until somebody gets here. I can just sing until somebody comes and gives me a like or says hello. And then there's nobody here. Hello, Philip. Hello. You said you weren't going to go here. Have you seen it yet? Can I spoil it for you, or if not you seen it? There's a lot of people that haven't seen it yet, but I might talk about it, so I don't know. But Ollie, who used to be my flatmate, said he was expecting me to. Hello, Elise. Hello, Terry. He was expecting me to talk about it yesterday, and I didn't, because, oh, well, I won't spoil it for you. What a treat you have. I won't spoil it for you. So that's all right then. I tell you what, talking about time travel and weird things, that's all right. Yes, there was some stuff that happened, and then there were titles, and then it ended. So yeah, that's what happened. I've spoiled it completely by saying that there were titles and stuff that happened. Stuff that happened. Who'd have thought it? Anyway, so yeah, I was just looking through some stuff just before I came here. I'd seen that there was a couple of my old records here. So this one, obviously, I didn't buy this as a youth because it was here already. But there are some things that I had from a long time. Hello, Welsh boy. Some things that I've had for a long time, like ages and ages. They're sort of, and they were out of their, because I used to have a box full of all the records and everything. And this, right? And I was like, oh, well, where did that go? And I didn't know where my box of records had gone. And I've moved back here for a little while to my parents. So there's a lot of stuff. And I've put a lot of my stuff that I've accumulated over the years in the back room. And it got moved around because my dad was trying to get something out. And I was like, ah, and I cut myself on a suitcase, which was disheartening. But while I was looking for all the old stuff, I found the box of records. So just before I came on air, I thought, oh, I'll find the actual, because this, look, there's nothing in it. I'll find the record, right? I've only bought one copy of this ever in my life. So I'll find the record, what I'll do. So I started looking through, I'm like, la, 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 la. And there's some spare records. There's some records that haven't got the cover on. Long and proper, yes. Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Hannah Finkel. Anyway, there's like records that are, you know, from before. Oh, this one's from when I was a child. It's my favourite things. It's not Julie Andrews. And also on the back is The Lonely Goat Herd. Now, I don't know who's singing this. It's Anne Rogers and Children. No idea who they are. Anyway, so there's like various things that are from my life and from before. You know, before I was even born. So there's Edith Piaf and there's the Cars. Do you know that hasn't got a cover? I don't think it ever had. I think it was like just a plain one and various things. You know, there's one, I Must Be Dreaming by Nat King Cole. So these are records from all over the place that, you know, that my mother had or my grandfather had or whatever. It's getting better. Mama Cass, that's my parents' song that they think is the song that's their relationship. It's getting better, apparently. My mum says that's their song, so that's interesting. Yeah. So I've got various things. Anyway, I'm looking through it going, all right, I've got spare records. Maybe I can find the thing that goes in this. That'll be fine. And I'm looking through. I've only ever, trust me here, I've only ever bought that once. But then it's got the record inside. It's got my name on the back. I'm a bit confused. Now, this is one of those Mandela effects or one of those spooky things. It's like, how did that happen? What's going on? So now I'm a bit confused because I genuinely never had, what's that? This part of a record player. I don't have a record player as far as I know to play them. Maybe somewhere. But I'm a bit confused because it's like, what the fuck? Yep. No, I never did. This is it. I genuinely never did. It's just, this has been in this room for a while, and I'm like, you know, with things that I know that I've acquired that from somewhere, and I knew that I had that, and there's another there, so there's another one. I'm like, oh yeah, I've got more than one dead or alive song. That's great. Yeah, it's like, genuinely never bought this, and it's with the records that I'm aware of. So I'm very confused. It just doesn't make any sense at all. Doesn't make any sense at all. I've got a Hall of Notes thing. Got that in a bargain bin somewhere. I don't know whether I've listened one on one. I must have listened to it. I vaguely remember getting it in, because it used to be the way that I used to get records is way after they were out of the charts and they were in a box. I was like, oh yes, I can get those for a couple of pence. They're a lot cheaper than when they were in the charts. Some of them were in the charts. Musical Youth, so past the Duchy. I didn't buy that, but I remember that I went to Austria on a school trip, and I think, and I came back and my maybe not, or Butlins. No, I must have gone to Austria on a school trip, and I came back and my parents had gone to Butlins with my brother, and they picked me up and we went there, and they were raving about this song that they'd heard, and that was the song. So this probably ages me, and you can guess how very old I am by the records I have. I got them in the bargain bin about 25 years after they were released, obviously. Of course I did. Anyway, so I'm a bit confused about that. It doesn't make any sense at all to me. But these things happen. Anyway, what's up to you? Austria, Butlins. Oh, yes, exactly. Austria and Butlins are exactly the same. Austria has snow and Butlins does as well. I remember it was the first time I'd ever watched Some Like It Hot. That was on the show, on the television. And my parents said, that's a good film, let's watch that. And so we watched it, and it was funny. Butlins. Butlins? Which Butlins? Was it Barry Butlins? I'm like, have we ever been to Barry Island Butlins before? It's not there anymore, but it used to be on the cliffs, and now there's a housing estate there. And I'm like, did we go there? We must have done, because it was just like a sort of last minute, because my brother was like sad that I'd gone on holiday and he hadn't. And so they went on holiday too, but I joined them anyway, so I went on holiday twice. Ha ha ha! Oh, the luxury! Oh, my life! I'm a jet setter. And it was, I think it must have been Easter, because I know, I've said this before, but we went to Salzburg on the Austrian school trip, and there was Mozart's house, and right opposite it was a chocolate shop. And instead of going in Mozart's house, I went in the chocolate shop, and I bought a chocolate Easter bunny for my brother. I thought, what a lovely treat. But of course, by the time it got home, it had got crushed in transit, and he was like, that's not good enough. Little kid was like upset about the crushed up Easter bunny I bought for him, and I thought I was being thoughtful, but I should have just gone and seen the Mozart exhibition, but I didn't. And now I don't know whether I'll go back to Austria. Maybe I will. I don't know. It's difficult to get to the continent now because of Brexit and stuff like that, and you have to pay. I have got a passport. I haven't been anywhere on the passport. My new passport came this year. I got it especially because it was just before they were going to go up in price. I thought, oh, I better get a new one. But when am I going to use it? I'm going to use it for identification. You have to have them now, though. You have to have them in order to vote. But I'm not registered to vote here. I'm registered to vote in my old address. So I need to sort that out, especially if there's going to be a general election, which there will be soon. Generally depressing. Yeah, so it's been a week. I tell you what, this week as well, my parents were like, we're going to go and see a concert up the Garn. The Garn is Garn Diffeth, which means desolate heap of stones is, I think, the translation in English. I'm not even joking, that's what it's called. It's Garn is like a cairn, so it's a heap of stones, and Diffith means sort of lonely or, on top of the hill. So, I went to a concert at a desolate heap of stones, and it was quite nice. It was like actual professional singers had come, because it was a charity thing, a charity event, and it was good. So it was songs from the shows. It was ever so good. They did Hamilton and the last 5 years, as well as the old traditional ones you'd expect in an old people's home. It wasn't an old people's home, but it was mostly older people that were coming to it. It's in a place called the Millennium Hall, which my parents on Tuesdays, they go to an old people's dinner or lunch. It's dinner at, like, we call dinner lunch in so it's a food. It's a whole 3-course meal, I think it is. Yes, exactly. There's a lot of place called Garn something or other around here. Manid Garn Schlochty is the house of the clock. The heap of stones on the mountain. The mountain clock heap of stones, I think it is. Schlochty. Oh, maybe it's not clock. Anyway, bell. The bell, the house of the bell house heap of thrones. Yeah, clock is bell, not clock. What am I talking about? Clock, that would be silly. Yes. Oh yeah, I tell you what about Austria. It was nice, but the people were sort of slightly friendly and slightly distant. I don't know, there's something about them. Anyway, but I mean, that's just the people I met. There's about how many people are in there, Austria? It's not a very big country, like 15 million. They can't all be the same. I would say there's probably a diversity of spirit and attitude and personality, because there is anywhere. But so I don't know, you can't really say about any group of people they're all like this, because they're not, are they? That would be ridiculous. But yeah, I trust that the people you met possibly were. You know, there's general people. Black Forest Gym. Yes. See, when we went to Austria, it was fun because it was a school trip that it meant we had to go. So we went to Italy for a day trip, just at the top. We went over a pass, the famous pass. Not the Menai pass. That's in North Wales. But anyway, whatever the straits, the pass that gets between Austria and Italy, we went there, and it was some town that used to be Austria at one point and has passed to Italy in the preceding years. So that was nice. That it was a leather making town, so a lot of people bought purses and things like that. Lederhosen. No, they didn't buy lederhosen. That sort of thing. And then we also went to Germany for a couple of day trips, and we went to Lake Königssee, which is very blue and lovely, and we went on a boat and we visited the little village that's in the middle of the, yeah, it's very nice. Oh, Black Forest Gatto, yeah. And we went down a salt mine. It was so exciting. And we also went to Oberammergau. There was a whistle stop spot. We went to Oberammergau, but Oberammergau was a year when there wasn't, it definitely was Easter time, because there wasn't, though, a Passion Play that year. So it's because I think they're every 10 years, something like that. Not the year that we went, anyway. So, no. And then we also went to the New Schwanstein, I think, but the people that had organised it, the teachers, had not thought to say that, we need to actually get tickets. So we got there and we couldn't get in. So we sort of hung around there for a little while, and a few of us went down. We thought, we'll have a look around and we'll look over the mountain, and then we'll walk down the hill to get back to the bus, because we were going to go to I can't remember what it's called. The place that it's Berchtesgaden Garden, something like that. Anyway, it was on the top of a mountain, and we took so long to go down that the teachers were very angry at us. It's like if you'd have planned this properly, then we'd have had a whole day to go to see this castle, and we would have paid to go in, and that would have been all right. But they were so angry with us, and they were shouting and being awful, and we left it too late, so we couldn't go to this place because the fog had come down. The fog would have come down anyway. So don't blame us. It did snow that week. Snowed in the spring because it was sort of in the Alps-ish. Anyway, so we didn't go. And yeah, so whatever. Anyway, so I went to see some things in Germany and some things in Austria, and we went to see where was the Olympics? The other place in I can't remember what it was. I did remember, and then it flitted from my mind. Wherever it is, there was a ski jump, and if you jump down it, in the Olympics they had it, if you jump down it, you can see the cemetery as you're whooshing down. Yes, not Lillehammer. Lillehammer's a different place. La 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 la. It was Austria, so it was wherever. I can't remember. Anyway, I did know because I went there, but I forgot. Anyway, so that was fun. And and the food. I remember that we had blood oranges as sandwiches. Not a sandwich of blood oranges, but we had packed lunches and we had blood oranges, and we're all very. It's like, what's this? This is all red stuff in the oranges, and it was very exciting. I think it might have been the first time a lot of people had these. I think I'd had them before because I'm sophisticated in that. But also I remember that the soup that they served at the chalet that we were staying at was very strange. It was like very hot water and oil that was heated up, hardly any flavour in it, heated up so that it was so hot that it would burn your mouth off when you tried to eat it, and it tasted of nothing. But you wouldn't have been able to taste it anyway because your lips would have fallen off by that. So yes, Innsbruck it's Innsbruck. That's exactly where it was. Exactly. Which, have you ever got that thing where you know something and then you go, oh, it goes from your mind. It's like at the tip of your tongue, and that's because of the soup. The soup burnt it away from my mouth all these years later. So that was fun. So what was I saying? Oh, Austria. Why was I going back to Austria? Anyway, the singing at the gun was lovely. And there was somebody that is doing an MA in Yorkshire that come all the way down, and somebody that's doing pantomime in Porthcawl, and he did You'll Be Back by from Hamilton, and they did all sorts of songs. It was good. And the main person was called Paul Kay, and he's from the Garden, but it's not the Paul Kay you're thinking of, who is a comedian. It's Paul Kay, who's a singer and entertainer, and you look him up online, and he's written a novel during lockdown. That was nice. And he does like Roy Orbison tribute acts. On the thing, it's like he's got a list of all the different tribute acts. He can do tribute to practically anyone. My dad asked me afterwards, he said, do you think he was a great singer or a good singer? I said something like, do you think he was a good singer? Yes. But do you think he was a great singer? It's like, well, that's subjective. He was a very good singer. But he's from up the garden. He's a very good singer because he's very versatile. But, whether somebody's great or not. But I think the conversation was, how come he didn't make it big? But how come anyone didn't make it big? Nobody makes it big. Look at me. I could have been somebody. I could have been a contender. But instead of that, I'm sat here, just me, strumming guitar, making no sense at all in here, in front of a picture of my mum in the garden. Very near the garden, which is a desolate heap of stones. So who knows? Maybe there's still a chance I could be famous, ever so famous. I mean, look at Grandma Moses. She didn't start painting until she was in her 60s or something. So who knows? There's hope for me yet. I don't know how, I don't know why, I don't know how. But in a different universe, where I bought this one, and it's disappeared. But in this universe, I've also got another one that's got the whole record in my hand. Whoa. Amazing. So yeah, it's been a bit of a sort of, it's just been so cold and nasty out. But I tell you what, on the way to the concert, I looked up in the air and it's very bright. You can see a lot of stars in the sky because there's less light around here because there's not that much going on really. And I looked up in the sky and I was like, oh, next to the moon there was a very bright spot, and I thought, that's probably a planet. That doesn't look like a star. I don't remember that being there. And then I found out it's probably Jupiter in the sky. And apparently also yesterday people were seeing a big glow around the moon and getting very freaked out. It's like, I've seen that before. That's nothing to be scared of, a big glow around the moon. That's just a thing. I should have been the new Doctor Who. Yes, I could be the next one, really. Who even knows? There was discussion. I mean, Shooty Gatwa's done 2 series already. How many he's going to do? He might be more famous and there's other things to do. Shooty Gatwa might make 5 series. And if he shoots them all, then Shooty Gatwa. If he shoots them all in 1 week, then I can be Doctor by next year or thereabouts. So who knows? Maybe I can still be a doctor. Who even knows? Yay. Probably not though. But I mean, every time I watch it, I see another person that I've met that's in it. I thought Matt Green as a TV newscaster in it, and I met him. I met loads of people that are in it. Everyone that's in anything. I'm like, oh, I know them. But it's not as bad as panel shows. I know everybody from panel shows. La 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 la. I don't know whether you get a vote, but maybe you do. It's not a democratic process, though. No. But I did sometime. I've said this before as well. That Russell T Davies said that you have to have experience and an agent and being a member of Equity. Now, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. I'm a member of Equity, but I do not have an agent at the present time. If anyone wants to represent me, I'd be happy to be represented, especially if you can get me work, because I need work quite soon. Because I don't know, I'm sort of going to hold out till Christmas and then see what's happening, but I'm like, ooh, time. If I don't go anywhere or do anything, then who needs money? I can just sleep in a box in the backyard. Sleep in my record box. Woohoo! Not very big, but I've got like, I can use this as a sleeping bag because there's no record in it. I'm so tiny, I can fit inside it. Yeah. Who? I don't know who. Yeah, so if anybody wants to put me in anything, I've got a few things coming up. I've got a poetry thing on Saturday, and I've got, as I said last week, I've got a little bit in. Had I done that before? Yes, I had done that before I talked to you. We did a little bit for Pear Shaped, which is online, and I'm going to probably do a few more things to send them, so that's going to be in the new year. And also, somebody's asked me to do voices for a radio thing that they're doing. Yay! Who needs money? I bet they don't. No, I don't know. Who needs money? I don't know who. Who needs money? Do you? Well, I found couple of coins in the back of my purse and the bottom of my bag, rather. Like, it's like, wow, I found like £14.20 in loose change that I didn't know I had. So I'm practically the richest person in the world. And also, a Black Friday deal, some gambling site said, if you deposit some money, we'll give you loads of spins. And I was like, whoa, that's a slippery slope, because you can put the money in and then you feel obliged to, but there were no strings. So I was like, I put the money in, I do the spins, I win £22, I took the money back out again. I'm like, yay, get out there before you spend it all. So I was like, and then it's like, the next spin will cost 20p. It's like, no, I don't think so. Give me my money, please. So that's good. I am not in favour of gambling, but if they give me free money, then I'll say yes, all right, thank you, and run away very quickly, because it's an addictive thing, and I don't like that very much, and it makes me sad. But they offered, so I was like, yeah, go on then. Back away! I've set it up so that I can't put any more money in. You see, you've got this like, oh, be aware. So you've got this thing where you can't put any more money. So I can't put any more money in for at least a month. So it's like, hooray! So I'm going to save myself. I do not condone that sort of thing, but I've got money, so that's all right. Ukuleles. I haven't tuned my uke, but I've got 2 ukes in my eye line. And actually, I've got a picture of I've got a Big Brother bag in my eye line that's got a big eye on it. So I've got an eye in my eye line, which whoa. So that's interesting. So I don't know what's coming up. Oh, I found out that Cardiff has dug up the canal, and they've got a big strip of land that's now got a canal in it. So I might go and see that this week, and then film it, and then do that. Gambling is addictive. Oh my gosh! If I tell you what, when I was a little kid, the penny arcade slots. If I had a big bag of pennies, I'd just be there, hypnotised. Slots, they're terrible. They're the work of the devil. The work of the devil. The penny slots. No, I'm just hypnotised by them. Wow! So. Not good. I don't know what it's just, you get into sort of like, nah, that's the thing that I'm doing now, is I'm pulling the penny slot. It's a sort of, I think I might slightly have ADHD, undiagnosed, but it comes and it goes, and hopefully it's gone. which is not how it's supposed to work. So it's probably not really ADHD. It's just me being a little bit obsessive about certain things. It's not OCD. It's not ADHD. It's nothing that's diagnosable. It's nothing that other people have that, yeah. So you don't go around claiming you've got things. Other people get very upset about that. It's like, no, you haven't. Do not say that you have. Now, I'm not saying that I have. I'm saying that I sometimes have tendencies that verge that way. So I get obsessive and then it goes. It's like, whoa, why was I so obsessive about penny slots? I don't know. Blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, money goes like that, exactly. And then I'm like, no, now I've got no pennies left. I keep going until there's nothing left, until and now I've completely lost an obsession with getting rid of it. It's like, I've got these pennies, I don't deserve these pennies, I must get rid of them. So, that's not good. That's probably very deeply psychological that I need to deal with very quickly and sort out. Yes, I should probably do that. So, good thing that I can't go near this site for another month or so. So, hopefully, I don't get addicted to anything like that. But I've got £22. Don't know what I can do with that. Lots of things. Also, I did have Amazon Prime, but then it ran out and I can't get a free one. But I've got another Amazon account, so maybe I can get a free trial on that until Christmas. And so I can watch things on that, but I haven't got that at the moment. But there's, it's like, unless I know that there's good shows coming up. Like I did watch, Gen V, and various different things on that. And I'd started watching Supernatural again, which I had watched way back, but I stopped watching it because it wasn't on Netflix. I think it was when I had Netflix, and then I didn't watch it. But it's on Amazon Prime. But there's like 2 or 3 series to go. It's like, but I did hear that they're going to start making it again. So I don't know what happens in the end of that, so don't spoil it for me. But a lot of people were talking about the last 2 episodes or so, so I'm already a bit spoiled. So I sort of know what happens in the end, even though I haven't seen it. People just, it's like, you can't expect people to stop spoiling you like 4 or 5 to 10 years after. When did it end? Anyway, years after the fact, but almost immediately it was on, people were spoiling it. They were talking about what had happened. It's like, you can't avoid discourse about TV shows at all. You could for a little while because of the strikes, but now you can't. So everybody's talking about stuff again and spoiling it for everybody, which is why I'm not talking about the Doctor Who, because not everyone has seen it. Not everyone here has seen it. So, maybe I should have done a special yesterday that was specifically about that you could have watched. Just specifically about that. But maybe I will do, actually, after the next week one, as well. In addition to my Sunday night, this general show, I will probably do a sort of after Doctor Who thing, which people can watch if they've seen Doctor Who. And then they can still come to see this one next week, but they can join me going, ooh, squee, Doctor Who, la 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 la, next week. After the fact, so that'll be on Saturday. So yeah, so it's an optional extra la, and that's what I will do. That was a bit sour. An optional extra la. So yeah, an optional extra, which is a Doctor Who special, and I'll do both episodes that have been on. So maybe I'll do the first. No, I'll just do both of them at the same time. So yeah, if you haven't seen them, you don't have to join me for that. You can join me on Sunday, same time, same back channel, and all that stuff, all that jazz. So that's good. Yeah. So, and I probably will, if I can, if it's not as miserable and wet and horrible and cold, I will try to make it to Cardiff, because I tell you what, a Doctor Who Young Spock crossover could be interesting. Yes, let's make it so. That would be Next Generation. That's a completely different TV show, but is it completely different? Sort of different, but not. And also, what was I going to say about Cardiff? I can't remember. I was going to say something about Cardiff and I got distracted, and then I never will get back to that again. Something about Cardiff. Oh no, that's it. The bus fare. I was going to go to my local town. Pontypool is quite near to me. And the bus fare, last time I checked, was like, you couldn't get a return. It was like £7.30 for a day travel. But I went the other day and they charged me £3.50 for a return. And I thought, ooh, that's good. So a couple of days later, I went to visit relatives up about 3 stops away. It was not that far, and I asked for a return. I thought it'll be the same as it was. It's about the same distance. And they said, no, it's like £7.50, or it's more than that even. And I was like, what? I'm not paying that for 3 stops. Well, why did they charge me that before? And they said, well, that's a child single fare. It's like, it said return on my ticket. So how did I get a child single fare price of that as an adult return? It's like, I'm not a child. How did that happen? So I'm like, so I walked to my relative's house and I stepped in dog stuffy doody doo, and I was immediately like, meh! So that held me down. I was like, meh, 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 meh. So I had to like leave the shoes outside the house. I was very upset. And I was like, and this is the same day as I cut my hand on the suitcase. It's like, this day is horrible. It's getting worse and worse and worse. I get the bus fare thingy and there's 3 things happening. So I'm not paying like £7.30 just for 2 stops, like that I can walk. But Cardiff, which is miles away, takes nearly an hour, maybe even more than an hour to get to. Miles and miles away, maybe more because it's 20 miles an hour now in. So it probably will take longer than that. Anyway, it's about £1 more for a day return thingy, a sort of travel anywhere. I could travel anywhere in the whole of yes, that's where I am. Southeast to all the way as far as Cardiff to Hereford. All the way for a little bit more than going 2 stops would have cost me. It's outrageous. I'm going to start a campaign. No! Give me free fares. Free fares. Very, very cheap fares and free fares. I'm very, 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 very upset. I know, but it's so ridiculous. Well, yes. A couple of days ago, the driver thought, well, you're a child. You can have a child's fare. But this time, 2 days later, you're suddenly aged and old and you have to pay full adult fare, which is an outrageous amount. Ha! Anyway, yeah. So, and I got also on my walk, I'm so unfit. I was like, I got a really big pain on the back of my head. I was like, ow! So the whole journey, the whole walk there, I was like, nah. I walked back and I was fine in the walk back, but the walk there, I was like, my hand, oh my shoes, oh my life. Anyway, I will see you next week, twice probably. Once after Doctor Who, which is about 30:30, maybe not immediately after Doctor Who, because there's a sort of there's a thing about, like on the other channel, there's a behind the scenes. So maybe a little bit after, about an hour after Doctor Who, maybe. And then on Sunday. So it'll be about 8:30 8:30 on Saturday maybe, and 8 o'clock on Sunday. That is it's GMT. So the clocks have changed. GMT is not British summertime anymore. It's very much the winter. So GMT, 8 p.m. and 8:30 p.m. Anyway, I'll put it up so it'll be obvious and stuff. I'll do a thing so that you'll know. Right, tell me. That's not an elderly child. What a thing to say. All right, well, see you next week. Thank you very much for joining me, and goodbye. Goodbye. See you soon. Bye.